Russian units have gone on the offensive in southeastern Ukraine in an apparent bid to distract Kyiv's troops and draw them away from frontline breakthroughs that threaten Moscow's control over the southern portion of the country. The Institute for the Study of War said on Tuesday that Russian forces launched localized offensive operations in the Avdiivka area of Donetsk Oblast and southwest of Orikhiv in western Zaporizhzhia Oblast, two areas that have seen particularly heavy fighting since the opening of Ukraine's counteroffensive operation in early June. The fresh Russian attacks, the think tank said, are likely intended to fix Ukrainian forces away from the Robotyne area, where Ukrainian troops won the most promising gains in months of heavy fighting and raised the prospect of Kyiv's forces driving southwest towards the Russian logistical hub at Tokmak. Southwest of Orikhiv in southern Zaporizhzhia Oblast, ISW cited Russian millbloggers claiming an advance of around 1.2 miles. The Russian effort around Avdiivka, the think tank said, is being portrayed by millbloggers as a significant offensive effort aimed at encircling the Ukrainian force grouping in Avdiivka and capturing the city. Avdiivka is one of the most heavily fortified Ukrainian-held locations in the Donetsk region and a key strategic prize. ISW suggested that a successful encirclement and capture of the settlement and the Ukrainian grouping there would very likely require more forces than Russia has currently dedicated to the Avdiivka Donetsk city effort. Russian forces have also conducted grinding offensive operations for relatively minimal territorial gains near Avdiivka for the past year and a half of the war, and the Russian military command is likely aware that an effort to capture Avdiivka would require more and higher quality units than those currently deployed in the area, the ISW's Tuesday bulletin said. The Russian offensives around Avdiivka and Orikhiv, the ISW surmised, are likely aimed at fixing Ukrainian forces and preventing Ukrainian command from transferring reserves to critical areas of the front in western Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Newsweek has contacted the Russian Defense Ministry by email to request comment. Ukrainian commanders and political leaders have been sounding the alarm in recent days. In general, the enemy continues to press in Avdiivka and Mariinka directions, Alexander Stupin, a spokesperson for the Joint Press Center of Ukraine's Eastern Military Grouping said on Tuesday. Andriy Yermak, the head of President Volodymyr Zelensky's office, wrote on Telegram that Avdiivka is under massive attacks by Russian artillery and aviation. The head of the town's administration, Vitaly Barabash, meanwhile, said, "For over a year, there has been the danger that Avdiivka can be occupied, but now the situation has worsened rapidly." Barabash added that Moscow's forces are now seeking to besiege the settlement using all means. A Ukrainian military formation that has been central to Kyiv's counteroffensive is in disarray because of problems with leadership and command on the battlefield, it has been reported. In September, Ukrainian public broadcaster Suspilne said that Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Sak had been removed from his post as commander of Ukraine's 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade. Ukrainian military officials have not commented on the reasons, but the website Military Land, which reports on Ukraine's armed forces, said that there were rumors that Sak's dismissal was connected to the brigade's performance on the battlefield. His unit, alongside Ukraine's 82nd Air Assault Brigade, helped break through Russian lines in southern Ukraine during the summer counter-offensive aimed at recapturing Moscow-occupied territory. Fighting on the Tokmak front near the city of Orikhiv in the summer, the 47th Brigade was one of the first to take part in a counter-offensive in the Zaporizhzhia region. In a boost for Kyiv's efforts, under Sak's command, it entered the village of Robotyne on the 22nd of August, from which residents were evacuated. But Military Land said that the liberation had come at a serious cost. It also said that Sak's replacement, Alexander Pavly, had failed to understand the brigade structure. The website said orders were not being carried out, which included sending snipers, mortar and artillery crews to the front as assault infantry. The brigade, which is also named Magura, after a goddess in Slavic mythology, was formed in April 2022 and has faced other setbacks in recent months, most notably on July 22, when Dmytro Rybakov, the then brigade commander, was killed. Valery Marcus, a sergeant major in the brigade, complained in July about the decisions of the unit's command and said there was lack of interest regarding soldiers' morale. He asked to be demoted because of an ongoing disagreement with the unit's commanders. Marcus, who met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to discuss his concerns, posted on Facebook that he was totally opposed to the decisions on the brigade's deployment and development. We haven't been allowed to develop the military unit in line with the values we have stated at the time it was being created, he said in comments reported by Ukrainian media. I no longer have opportunities to influence or rectify the situation. However, Rustam Mustafayev, Sergeant Major of the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade Strike Company, accused Marcus of trying to promote himself on the back of other people's blood. He also rejected Marcus' criticism of the brigade's command, saying that it worked hard to ensure the most favorable conditions. Newsweek has contacted the Ukrainian Armed Forces for comment. The General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces reported on October 11 that Russia had lost 283,900 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of its full-scale invasion on February 24 last year. This number includes 820 casualties Russian forces suffered just over the past day.